Let me ask you the most important question. If somebody is doing it just because they're slightly overweight, would you recommend this?
Without medical supervision, I would strongly not recommend. If you lose muscle mass with weight, then you actually die early.
If somebody chooses to take it lifelong,
sure,
they can.
He has to increase his income.
We are thin fat Indians.
Okay.
And I don't agree with their anecdotal observation.
So apart from the regular GI complaints such as bloating, nausea, vomiting, is sarcopenia.
The 5 filters that you're talking about, definitely don't take it if you're over 65. Liver screening, excess fat in your body, bone density, and mental health. Now this is getting fun. Hello everybody, I'm Namita Thapar, Executive Director of MCure Pharmaceuticals, and today we're going to talk about the famous, infamous weight loss injections. This is something that we thought we needed multiple experts for. So we have our guru, the legend, Dr. Shashank Joshi. Post my conversation with him, we'll patch in Dr. Bhoraskar and Dr. Borude. And let's see what 3 experts have to say for a topic that everyone is curious about, but still a lot more data is needed. So over to you, Dr. Shashank. Thank you for coming here. I think this is the second time you're on our show. And the first time when you were on the show, it went absolutely viral when we spoke about remission of diabetes. This whole weight loss injections, I know you don't want me to use the molecules, so we'll say GLP-1, started off being something that was used in diabetes and type 2 diabetes to manage weight amongst the patients. And now it's become something of a fashion statement. So I just want to hear your views on it, the good, bad, and the ugly.
So first of all, Namita, thank you so much for having me over. And these weight loss injections are more popular on social media and general platform than actually evidence-based medical platforms. But they are path-breaking. So you alluded to a compound called GLP-1.
Yes.
This is nothing but opposite of insulin is glucagon. So a cut glucagon is called Glucagon-like Peptide-1. And there are different types of these medicines. They were discovered by accident. Actually, these medicines used to cause a lot of nausea and vomiting. So somebody called it vomiglutide because they used to cause so much of vomiting.
Okay.
And then a German professor actually did dosing studies. And they dosed it very slowly, very slowly, very slowly till they got glucose, diabetes control and weight loss control. So they are called a single receptor agent because they are working on GLP-1 pathway.
Okay.
And these injections are given once a week. They are useful in people living with diabetes and they are also useful for weight loss.
Right.
They cause around 8% weight loss.
Let me just take a pause here.
Yeah.
Dr. Borude said 12%, Dr. Bhoraskar said 40%, you're saying 8%.
So
can you elaborate? What is the published data?
So published data shows 8% in the global population.
Okay.
We are thin fat Indians.
Okay.
And I don't agree with their anecdotal observations because we are thin fat Indians, we have less muscle, more fat.
Okay.
So we have not studied these molecules in an evidence-based way in the Indian population. In the India, a oral version is available.
Understood.
And that oral version can cause weight loss from 8% up to 10 to 12%.
Understood.
So that part I would buy in because we are thin and fat and the muscle to fat ratio is important. Look, Namita, what is weight? Our weight is predominantly water, bones, muscle and fat.
Right.
And what people do to make weight loss happen is they try to manipulate the fat to muscle ratio.
Right.
And these drugs adversely affect that and they cause fat loss.
Right.
Now, any fat in our body is bad. Now, the problem is these are single receptor agents. But the peptide scientists in the world and innovators in chemistry, like you are from a chemistry family which does pharmaceutical innovations, they made 2 agents, GLP-1 and GIP. GIP actually is anti-craving because we crave for food, you know.
Right.
We smell food, we crave food. So these agents, when you take them as dual agents, GLP-1, GIP, which is also now available in the world,
right,
causes 15 to 20% weight loss.
Understood.
And then there is a triple agent. People didn't stop there. They said GLP-1, GIP and glucagon receptor. And when they combine the 3, the agent which is called is retatrutide. So tirzepatide is dual agent, semaglutide is single agent and retatrutide is triple agent.
Understood.
So the triple agent causes more than 20% weight loss, equal to bariatric surgery.
Now I get it.
Okay. Now in the Indian population, everything works at half, whether it is medications which are oral or any subject. So that type of observation is anecdotal, but we have not studied them in the Indian population.
Now
we
I'll
use the
answer
oral version very well. But the most important thing, Namita, is we should know when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it, and who should supervise it.
Please tell us about it.
So the main thing for these agents is that these agents should not be given for people unless and until a mental health checkup is done.
Okay.
Because all people living with obesity need a mental health screen. So mental health screen has to be done.
Right.
Their bone health has to be assessed. So they should not be vulnerable to get fractures.
Right.
If they are above 65, we exercise caution. Because above 65, if you lose muscle mass with weight,
Right.
then you actually die early.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that is the third filter.
That should be
And
repeated.
the fourth filter is if there is any family history of cancers,
Right.
then one should be cautious, particularly thyroid nodules. Because some of them, and I'm an endocrinologist, are linked to thyroid malignancies,
Understood.
though that's also anecdotal. So we don't have strong evidence base. So please get an endocrinologist to pre-screen you before you start
For these
agents.
4 things that you spoke about.
At least these 4 things, and
At the
whether you're
very
eligible,
minimum.
yes. Then the data which has been generated is for diabetes, for fatty liver, as well as for obesity.
Right.
So in the United States, they have approval for all these.
Right.
In India also, approval is there for diabetes currently, but they are not yet available in India because these medicines are in short supply.
Right.
But the main thing is they will threaten the food industry because they are anti-craving. You know, you will not think of food, you will not smell food, you will eat less.
But isn't that unnatural and wrong?
So physiologically, if
They're
you ask
messing
me,
with your system, natural
so physiologically it is unnatural.
system. Right.
But habits die hard. Habits die with you. So, you know, when you see food, and if I tell them just taste and share, you would not do that. We keep not only eating, we tend to eat much more. So these molecules are here to stay because they are anti-crave.
Got it.
As long as they are medically supervised and the contraindications are filtered out, I think these molecules will have an impact.
Okay.
But you have to start slow and start low.
Okay.
So the main thing in this is why medical supervision is required. I'm not soliciting work at all, but because you have to start with the lowest possible dose.
Right.
Then once that lowest possible dose is tolerated, then you step it to the next dose. Then when it is tolerated, then you step it to the next dose. So it has to be done very gradually. Patience is something which modern people don't have.
That's also
They want
true.
everything overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Namita, everybody wants everything
I'm guilty
overnight.
of that too.
Okay, so that is
Yeah.
so patience is the name of the game.
Yeah.
These molecules work.
How long can it be given?
So usually the current data suggests that they should be given lifelong.
Lifelong.
Because we don't know if you stop them whether there is a rebound or not. See, the biggest challenge is in the weight loss industries, every pharmaceutical medicine which got launched after 5 to 10 years due to some unusual side effect got banned.
Yes.
So we don't know the long-term impact of these molecules.
Right.
Currently, they look that they are threatening the food industry, they are threatening the food chains of the world, they are threatening the entire processed food industry.
Okay, the food industry, are they going to have side effects on my body? And after 5 years, I realize they are banned, but the damage is done.
But as I said, currently they are approved by the US FDA, by the MHRA, even the Indian Drug Controller has looked into it very carefully.
See, US FDA only
And
approves
people living
something,
with-
doc, if a long-term trials are done.
That's correct.
So in the
That's
US, long-term trials must have happened and it's
correct.
shown to be safe.
That is absolutely correct.
So
these
then,
molecules
is
are
that
not-
why you're
these
saying it should be
molecules are-
taken lifelong?
So these molecules, I'm not saying are unsafe. These molecules are very much safe, and these molecules are here to stay. The only challenge is they should be given as a medical supervision.
Understood.
And people walk up to my clinic and say, I want this injection for losing weight. And I think that is a wrong approach. I think go to your endocrinologist, get yourself screened. If you are eligible, then you should be getting those medications. Now these medicines are being rationed
Yeah.
because, you know, the most eligible people who will have the most compelling effect because they protect the heart, they protect the kidney, they protect the liver. So in a type 2 diabetic person who is obese, the data on that, which is outcome data, is very compelling. So these are compelling molecules if properly filtered and selected cases are administered under medical
But
supervision.
let me go back to your point, which was a little shocking to me, that it can be taken lifelong,
Yes, because the recommendation for any therapy is lifelong.
which is a chronic therapy.
Which is a chronic therapy.
But if they lose the weight and come to a desired weight level, then why should they continue it?
Because then again there'll be a rebound after some
That's the
time.
point.
Because they are anti-crave, they are working on the craving mechanism, they are working in the brain. See, in the brain we have various receptors. So they have a central action.
Understood.
They just don't have a peripheral action. And that central action is very overwhelming. And that is why, you know, you need to ensure, and that is why they got that populist culture. So
Understood.
now in the popular culture, they are very popular. But I still feel lifestyle is supreme.
No, that
So
I
if
agree. You
want
mentioned that in the previous episode.
Yeah, and I think lifestyle is still supreme. So these agents also will have a better impact if you do appropriate lifestyle. Right. So 2-3 things for these agents. If you are taking these agents, then you must take some proteins and do some resistance exercises.
Because muscle loss is a very big side effect.
So you must continue maintaining your muscle. So muscle के लिए resistance exercise is important. Doing some proper yoga which will build muscle strength is important. Taking the right protein is important, whether through food or through supplements. So that is very important to crucial to that. Second is protecting bones. So getting a bone mineral density scan, which will also estimate your body fat to muscle ratio, is very crucial, and ensuring that your bones are protected is equally important. And third is ensure that you don't go into a yo-yo phenomenon.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that you are depressed when you are obese or you are living with obesity, and then when you suddenly lose weight, you go into a euphoria.
Yeah.
So you get mood swings. So getting a mind coach, just like you have a diet coach and you have a GLP-1 coach, okay, the order of the day is to have a mind coach. Otherwise also one needs a mind coach for negotiating your mind. So it's very, very important to have bone health, muscle health and mood health supervised during this therapy.
Just one more detailed question. You mentioned about single agent, double agent, triple agent.
Correct.
Which one would you recommend to whom and when?
So I would
It looks
say,
like we have a lot of choices.
So you have a lot of choices. You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
So if I have a choice, I would go for the best agent for a morbidly obese person. So somebody is morbidly obese, I don't want a surgery to be done.
Right.
I would then give them a triple agent.
Understood.
They will put the surgeons out of business. I'm sorry to say this. I know you have a surgeon on board here, but they will put them out of business.
Yeah.
Just like the H2 blockers and the proton pump inhibitors put vagotomies for peptic ulcer out of business.
Right.
So when I was a medical student, they used to do vagotomy for a peptic ulcer. Nobody does that surgery. It's gone.
Understood.
It's vanished. So the triple agent is got a role there.
Okay.
And it is just launched in US and Europe.
Okay.
The dual agent
Right.
probably is for the persons who have a BMI between 30 and 40.
Understood.
And that is where it will be useful. If you are below 30 or if you are from an Indian phenotype, the single agent is reasonable to get you a compelling weight loss with good outcomes.
Let me ask you the most important question. If somebody is doing it just because they're slightly overweight and want to look really skinny for their social next wedding coming up or some event coming up, would you recommend this?
Without medical supervision, I would strongly not recommend it. Let me be very transparent here that these agents are not over-the-counter agents. These are injections of a peptide. They are opposite of insulin. After 100 years of insulin discovery, we use insulin with care.
Yeah.
So remember that these agents need medical supervision. They should be taken under a doctor's advice, and please don't take it they are not cosmetic agents.
But are doctors left, right and center writing this and giving this to patients who want to lose marginal weight for an event? It is happening.
Right now they are not available.
It's happening.
Right now they are
No, they're
not
getting
available.
it from abroad.
No,
They're
but
making it
right-
happen.
Yeah, but unless and until there is a compelling need and there is a valid indication, I would urge a caution on it.
Okay.
I would not urge it to be liberally used.
Let's go a little deeper in here.
Okay.
Supposing again someone's doing it just for fashion, for their upcoming big event, right? And let's say a doctor finds it and those 4 metrics you said that they don't have any issues with their bone density and mental health and they're not above 65 and all of that, and the doctor says, okay, you can take it. Are you seeing side effects?
Well, I don't know that because I don't give that. But if a drug works, it will have effects and side effects.
Yeah.
Padam padam vipadam, which means at every stage you will have an obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay, if a drug works, it will have an adverse event.
Okay.
If a drug doesn't work, it will have no adverse event. So a drug which works will cause a little nausea. What is the commonest side effect of this drug? A little bit of nausea, a little bit of gastric discomfort, then quenching of appetite. They stop craving for the food they liked. They don't eat that food anymore, which is actually the way the drug is working. But people perceive it as a side effect. Maybe after 5-10 years, they will break their bones. Their bones will become brittle.
Yeah.
They may not be in the right mindset. So they may have negative or adverse mental health outcome. So we need to be vigilant. We also need to be vigilant for cancers because we know that we need to screen them for cancers regularly. Nodules of thyroid have to be screened. If there's a strong family history or not there. But if everything is okay, and if one is pushed for a cosmetic reason, I'm not in the cosmetic world. So it is a wrong number you're telling me.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you can ask some cosmetologists who are into this. But purely for health reasons, losing weight is always good. Losing fat is always good. Because we are thin fat Indians. Genetically, we have less muscle mass and more fat mass. So this shaves off the fat. But shaving of fat is important as long as you build some muscle. So if people are doing that, what I tell them is, okay, no problem that your doctor, cosmetologist, whoever your friendly neighborhood friend has recommended you, ensure that you preserve your muscle mass, preserve your bones, and be happy. See, outcomes are not just about health.
Yeah.
It's health and happiness.
Yeah.
And I think losing weight and making you feel lighter actually also gives you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't give you the license to go and do wrong lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think the advantage of these agents are, because they anti-crave, you are not able to dwell into wrong lifestyle immediately. And that is the advantage.
No, that's very well said. And, I'm still a little bit confused about the cosmetic part of things. So I know you don't give it as a very responsible doctor, but as somebody who probably maybe has I'll just give my example. I probably want to be 3 kilos lighter. I don't have any of those 4 metrics that you mentioned, right? I'm not over 65. My mental health is okay. Of course, my husband may differ, but I think it's okay. My bone density is okay. I don't have a thyroid or any cancer history. If these 4 things are okay and I want to lose 3 kilos for Shark Tank season 4, would you recommend it to Namita Thapar, given the case study I just presented to you? I know you wouldn't, but do you think people are recommending, and if I take it, I would have side effects other than a little nausea?
I would not give
As a friend, what would you tell me?
I would not give it to you. I would tell you to skip your dinner and be happy, and you will lose those 3 kilograms. Because those 3 kilograms don't need injection in your system.
Yeah.
Okay, if you said I wanted to lose 10 kilograms,
Yeah.
maybe I would have thought of it.
Yeah.
But for 3 kilograms, no, Namita.
Absolutely.
I'm very clear. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't want my
No,
friend.
I'm not disappointed.
to
I'm
take a
actually
jab.
very happy that you have said this,
Yeah.
because I think what you're saying very responsibly is yes, if you are medically okay to take it, you may have small side effects like your little gastritis and nausea, but lifestyle always is a better solution. That's basically what you're saying. So don't succumb to it for cosmetic reasons. If you have a health reason, please go for it. And you just told us about single, dual, and triple receptors and where it is needed and how it's to be taken. The only thing that's still making my head spin a bit is
So,
the
Namita,
lifelong.
I would
lifelong.
also do a sonography on you. So if you have a fatty liver.
Oh yeah, that's
okay,
very important. The
Then
liver part of things.
Yeah, so if you had a fatty liver.
Yes.
If you had a little extra fat in your body, on your body fat composition.
Yeah.
If your body fat percentage was 40%.
Yeah.
So I would scientifically study it.
Which is why you keep repeating the word medical supervision, because then all these
So
things
because
have to be
as a
checked.
doctor, then I know that Namita, though looks thin, has extra fat in her liver,
Right.
has extra fat in her body composition.
Right.
That needs to be chopped off. She has a strong family history of diabetes in her family or heart disease in her family.
Right.
Then losing that 3 kilograms is vital for her.
Understood.
And also remember that this is one option. Another option is also to do lifestyle.
Understood.
Lifestyle is tough to do. Biggest problem with lifestyle is it is very tough to persist.
Absolutely.
While the agent is once a week, and therefore it allows you that
shortcut.
it allows you that flexibility, but it also has a price to pay.
Yeah.
Because you just can't pick up any food item and swallow it or eat it. And that's why it's important to recognize that yes and no. And individualization is the key.
Such a wealth of information. I didn't know about the single, double, triple agent. I didn't know about these 5 metrics that you mentioned, the 5 filters. Let me repeat again at the cost of repetition. The 5 filters that you're talking about, definitely don't take it if you're over 65. Definitely get screening. If there's a thyroid cancer history, don't take it. Liver screening to make sure you don't have a fatty liver, excess fat in your body. You also mentioned about bone density and mental health. These 5 screens are a must before you get onto Ozempic. You mentioned the BMI that needs to be checked also. And if you take it, you have 2 options. Take it lifelong so you don't rebound, or then take it till you reduce your weight, get the desired purpose, and then maintain it with the help of a strong remission program. Summarized it okay. Fabulous. I still think I loved what you started the program with, which is there's a lot more data needed on the Indian population. So there's a lot of data in the US, which is why the FDA approved it. We are still waiting for data in the Indian population. And so this is something that we have to wait and watch. And we're all keeping our fingers crossed that nothing really crazy comes out where it's banned after 5 years, because way too many people we know are taking it. And way too many weight loss drugs in the past have been banned. We just hope this is not one of those, because we don't want to live with those kind of consequences on our near and dear ones. But any parting words, Doc?
No, I think fingers crossed. These are game changers. They have changed economies of the world, like Denmark economy, US economy is going to change
Yeah.
because of these big
Yes,
ticket items.
absolutely.
A lot of science, a lot of evidence,
Yeah.
but I'm a man of medicine and science. Science is saying that these work. Medicine is saying that these need supervision. And if you are eligible, individualization is the key. So I think every person, according to me, has his own signature. And if these drugs fit in that signature, I think, and if you are going to have a healthy and happier life, which is disease-free, I think it's welcome.
Fantastic. I think this is, a good time now. Doc has given his views. It's a good time to go and listen to Dr. Borude and Dr. Bhoraskar and what they say. What are some of the side effects you're seeing for semaglutide?
So apart from the regular GI complaints such as bloating, nausea, vomiting, loose stools, and many other things, what we are seeing is sarcopenia, as Sir rightly pointed out. What we are saying is, for a lack of a better word, and this is the term that has been coined, is the Ozempic faces. We've seen a lot of muscle loss on the face with sunken eyeballs, high cheekbones, your cheeks are quite sunk in, not giving you the most healthy outlook, and you'll see these odd sort of figurine, the body dysmorphia. Now, this is just adding more fuel to the fire, because invariably an individual who's suffering from obesity is suffering from body dysmorphia. He or she is unhappy with how they look. So in the post-operative period, when I've seen individuals who've purely and solely gone on semaglutide, they either are very happy in content of losing the weight because they see the reduction of number on the weighing scale. However, if they don't lead a healthy lifestyle, that means working out, building your muscle mass, you'll sort of gain this body dysmorphia problem.
See, in short, after these procedures, one should not say that I have gone through this procedure, I have gone through the agony, that I am free to do whatever I like. All these things what I deprived, like hamburger, cheese, burger, chips, I can eat it. No. The lifestyle continues the same sadhu-like. The semaglutide people have a definite ace up their sleeve. One is a predictable weight loss.
What is that? Can you define that for me?
That is
how much
about-
do they lose?
About 30 to 40% of extra weight people have lost over a period of a year,
On
30 to
semaglutide.
40% weight
on-
loss over 1 year.
over 1 year.
This is your data, sir?
Yeah, this is all collected data.
Because what we researched is only
18%.
15%.
18,
15 to
18%.
16% is.
So you're saying 15 to 16%
18,
weight
18%.
loss. You're saying 30 to 40%
30 to 40%.
weight loss. You're saying 15% in a year. You're saying 30 to 40% in a year.
Year.
What I'm indicating is 15% overall. You cannot go beyond 15% unless you add another incrementing or another compound to it. You only 15%.
So this is a matter of a bit of what kind of books he reads or I read.
Okay.
You understand? No?
Now this is getting fun.
Yeah. So some books do mention 18%. 18% they have given.
1/8. Yeah.
Over a period of a year, 12
Okay.
months.
And the book you're reading says 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%.
Okay.
A bit conservative British people.
Okay.
And
the aggressive American, right?
Americans are different.
So again, this is where I like to add as well regarding the characteristic of this compound is the sensitivity is only 40 to 50%.
What do you mean by sensitivity?
People really very act, very
So
will act.
how it
Oh, so
acts.
as in the outcome will be in only 50 to 60%.
See, when you talk about a
50%
drug,
of the population. So it's not that if you end up taking this drug, it will have its effect. The
But
sense-
everybody who seems to be on it seems to have success.
So people who are on this medication who've lost weight, they are sort of being verbal about it, or even for the matter not being verbal about it. But people who have tried this medication and had zero effects, which we have in our line of practice also, are not talking about it.
Hey, hold on. Now, this is a very important point. Is there data to substantiate what you're saying? Because what you're saying, Dr. Rahul, is 50% people who take semaglutide have no success. Whereas the data I've read is that majority, and by majority I mean over 80% people who are taking this drug are seeing success.
80% in what population? What is the number of people you are talking about 80%?
So what is your experience?
So
what
my-
percent patients is this working?
I feel if the people are taking sincerely once a week, and actually our experience about this drug is only for last 8 to 9 months. It's not more than that.
Right.
It is reasonable. It is reasonable number. I would not be able to tell you exact statistical figure. But those people who have been put on that, at least 70 to 80% people are happy about it.
Okay, let's come back to semaglutide. I wanted to ask you, you made a very interesting observation. Doctor, you said that in your experience, a lot of patients put back the weight once they discontinue. I want to understand, is there any publications, both of you, to show that once semaglutide is discontinued, what percent of weight do they put back on you?
I can quote only American data.
Right,
I don't have my personal data.
right. What does the American data say?
American data said people who give up, about 18 to 20% people put on weight.
Is that what your data says as
Correct.
well?
It agrees to more or less the same. We have 29% people who regain weight post-op once they get off the compound.
If somebody chooses to take it lifelong, is it something they can take lifelong?
Sure.
They can.
He has to increase his income.
It's very expensive.
If he's not doing smuggling, he should start smuggling.
To add another statistic, people who get on semaglutide also, the fallout rate in the first month is around 49 or 60%.
What do you mean fallout rate?
People
Don't
give up.
take it.
They give up. They don't end up taking the drug beyond 1 month.
Why is that? Because it's an injectable?
Cost.
Or the cost? Both.
I would say cost, lack of sensitivity. So basically, if the drug
They're
isn't
not seeing
working,
results.
they're not seeing results. People are getting other side effects such as bloating, vomiting, and other things. And as he said, the barter system. If you feel the side effects are outweighing your the pros, you're not going to.
No, I'm not too sure about the grey market quality.
That's a very important point. There are a lot of spurious drugs.
There are
right?
many drugs available which are some different brands. I had photographs of that. I have not even heard those names. I don't know what is the genuinity of the compounds.
Okay, so now we've heard 3 experts talking, and truly my head is spinning, a lot of data out there. But I'll go back to Dr. Joshi's words where he said that you have to personalize, you have to customize. This is not one of those cases where one injection fits all. Go seek professional help, go to a medical expert, figure out what works best for you. And please, for God's sake, get the medicine from the right source. There are too many spurious drugs out there, too many salt combinations which are not the correct ones, even though it might have the same molecule name. Make sure you get it from a good source. Make sure you take the right molecule. Make sure you do it under medical supervision and customize the plan to you, because the last thing we need are side effects that disrupt your life. Thank you very much.